Geeks, nerds, gamers, and trolls. I am the man, the myth, the legend, the Noobfridge, Troy Blackburn. This is MMOBomb here on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already. And today we're going to take a look at one of my favorite MMOs, Star Wars The Old Republic. We're going to jump on the public test server and look at 5 things that I like what I see on the public test server for the 7.0 upcoming expansion, Legacy of the Sith. And the first thing we're going to do is jump in and take a look at number 1 on my list. Let's jump over to character creation. I really like what they're doing with the character creation right now. They're eliminating some of the boost levels. The only boost they're going to have going in is you can boost to level 70. You're going to have to play through Onslaught to get the Legacy of the Sith if you're going to do it boost-wise. Otherwise, if you've already got a level 75 character, you can just jump right in and play the new expansion. But we're going to create a character and take a look at some of the new features UI they got going on for character creation. First of all, you got to choose, of course, your side, the Galactic Republic or the Sith Empire. For this demonstration, I guess we'll choose the Sith Empire. Now, as you can see, the character models are basically the same. There is a bug right now where they're not showing weapons till you swap around combat styles a couple of times. And there we go. Now they're going to start getting some weapons. So that is a bug. But they do show you a little quick preview of sort of how they're going to hold their weapons when they do hold them, and sort of their attack styles. And look at the animations. So, you know, Sith Juggernaut is going to be a big two-handed lightsaber wielding, beat 'em up kind of character, and it kind of shows in the one little strike that they do there. And you got Marauders with the dual wields, Assassins, and Sorcerers. I like the cleanness of what they got going on here. Also over to the side tells you a little bit about it and the 3 different specializations you can go within that combat style. I do like the black background. I think it makes the character stand out more than in the cargo bay that we used to always stand in.
It's useless to define me.
They don't talk as much when you click on them. If you'll remember from the original game, they used to talk every time you clicked on them, which could get annoying. Luckily, they don't do that. But one more time, real quick for the homies, we've got a video up when this was first announced, but we'll go over origin stories and combat styles one more time real quick. Your origin story is what used to be your class: Sith Warrior, Sith Inquisitor, Bounty Hunter, Imperial Agent. All you're going to get from those, if that guy will quit shooting, he's very loud. Let me take him down in my ear. All you're going to get from those is the voice actor and the story that you're going to do. The Imperial Agent story, Bounty Hunter story, Sith Inquisitor story, or Sith Warrior story. Your combat style is chosen completely independently of that, other than the 2 tech classes can choose from any of the tech combat styles, and the 2 force-using classes can choose from any of the force-using combat styles. Now, initially, if you start out on the Sith side, you're only going to get to choose the Sith dark side abilities, the combat styles, but you can make a lot of light choices, and later on in the game switch over and play on the light side with the light side abilities if you're like a Sith warrior. So that's an option that you can do later on. So as usual, we go through and then we'll go to customize. Everything you're used to seeing, except that normally I would have all of this unlocked, but on the test server nothing is unlocked, which, by the way, if you want to let me get on a little bit of a side rant here. If you want us to test things, unlock everything. Just unlock it all. What does it matter that it's locked on the test server? Just unlock it and let us get to it. We would love to make our characters like they are on live, to compare them 1-to-1. And I get it. I can make my Sith Juggernaut, but if I can't use the species, it's not the same. I don't feel the same. Just unlock it. Let me have it. I just want to do that while I'm testing. Anyway, back to the gameplay here. So the sliders and stuff, everything is the same. It just looks different. All the choices are the exact same. I believe they're going to introduce a new hairstyle or 2. I believe that may be new for some of the species, not all. But for the most part, these are all the same. They just look different. They're just high contrast against the black background. Then your name is up top instead of at the bottom this time. So I've already got a Noobfridge character, so we'll just go Fridge Apocalypse. And hit play. And then you've got your loading screen going into your new character experience, which is the same as your existing character experience. But, you know, if it's a new story, a new class that you haven't played, it could be new to you. Lord knows, I am just now trying to play the Jedi Consular storyline because it's kind of dry and I'm struggling with it a little bit, so I'm just now getting around to that. So, let's see. Let's log out here. So, number 2 is the combat styles themselves, the way they've done those. Now, they're not just you can choose any weapon you want to. Like, I can't just choose a trooper and then run dual-wield pistols as that trooper with those trooper abilities. What I can do, though, is, say, for example, run a trooper. This is a trooper. Loading. Sometime today, please. I had this all ready to go, and this is going to take forever. By the way, I'm doing something a little different here. I'm trying to record this live. Normally, I do mine, like I record my footage, and then I voice over and post. I'm trying to do something a little different, integrating the camera a little more, and just kind of record it live, and let's just go with it. If I stumble and stutter all over myself, you're just going to have to listen to it now. So this is a trooper. This trooper, however, has a sniper combat style. What does that mean? That means I have to use the weapon a sniper would use, and I have to use all the abilities a sniper would use. So I am a trooper, but I have the crouch. I have the penetrating shots. I have the ambush. And I have the follow-up. Then I've got to forget what this one's called. Takedown. I got all that. I got all that fancy sniper stuff. Pew, pew. I can roll, get into cover. I've got entrench. I am a sniper. Now, since I started as a trooper, I chose to start out with actual trooper abilities on my trooper because that's what my guy on live is going to have. This is essentially what my main is going to be. On live, my main is a commando gunnery trooper. And I want his off-spec to be a sniper. So his second combat style is going to be sniper, which is what I've got set up here. Now, I can't just swap anywhere. As you can see, I've got 2 loadouts built. We'll talk about those here in just a second, but I can't switch right now. There would be an activate button down here. You can't just switch anywhere. You got to be in some special places. You either got to be on the fleet or on your personal starship or somewhere like that. So we'll teleport back to the fleet, and I'll show you being able to just swap. Once you're in a safe location, and I would assume strongholds count as that too. I actually forgot to test it in strongholds, but I would assume strongholds, because they're the same thing as like being on your personal starship. But I know I can swap on my personal starship. I've done it. And then here we are back on the fleet. So we'll go back over to the loadouts. Okay, I'm tired of playing my sniper. I want to go back to being my gunnery commando. Boom, activate. Look, all my abilities, my weapon, the gear that I wanted equipped in this loadout, ready to go. I did not set up my action bars. Normally this would be all of my trooper abilities up in the action bars where they're supposed to be, but I did not set those up. But I can show you, I can go back to sniper, and they'll be exactly where I left them, which is a big deal in Star Wars The Old Republic. If you've played the game, you've swapped specs before, the 3 specializations within your class. You've swapped between them before, most likely. I know I have. And it's a pain every single time you want to do it. If you play a combat style that can tank, but you've been running it as a DPS, to switch over to a tank is a pain in the rear because you have to respec. Then you have to go in and manually swap out all your gear. Then you have to go in and manually reset up all your action bars. Every time you swap back and forth, it can be really annoying, really pain. Loadouts, BioWare, Daddy loves you now. So that's number 2, combat styles. The fact that you can sort of tweak within your play styles. And also, within that, I said we would talk about, let's go back to the gameplay. Let's do it in the window. So in our combat styles, We've got some slight changes to each class, and we're not going to go over each one of those exactly. But there is going to be some abilities that were redundant or very similar to each other. You're going to be reduced down to one, in a couple of cases none of those. But most of the ones I've run into so far, now that they've put them back in this tree, you're left with pretty much at least the core rotation that you're used to. For Sniper, the core rotation is pretty much exactly what it is on live. I know for the Commando Gunnery Trooper, it felt just like playing my Gunnery Commando Trooper, other than I didn't have 6 defensives or whatever that can keep me alive and taking myself through anything, literally anything. So what you've got is, in this first tree, you're going to get both of those abilities. And then, as you can see with Ambush, you can choose one of 3 different ways that Ambush works whenever you activate it. So it gives you some choice in your play style. What are you playing? How do you like to play? What's going on around you? You can swap up what Ambush does a little bit. Then you've got the choice between 3 other passives and/or abilities. Then you've got go down to penetrating shots, and there again you get to choose kind of how penetrating shots is going to work. Something like a little addition on to penetrating shots. And pretty much every tree that I've seen works almost exactly like this. You get the first 2. The second row is choosing how this ability right here on the right works. Then it's choosing one of 3. Then you get one. Then you kind of choose how it works. And then the rest of it is just either get one or choose between one of 3. This tree is a little confusing to look at first, because at first I wasn't sure. Especially like this says increases the critical chance of your ambush. And then this is ambush. Well, if all these are choices, these 2 look like, well, how am I supposed to choose lays target if I don't choose ambush? I can't use ambush. So just know the first 2 you get, they need to do something to clarify that a little better. Whether it's give you ambush up here and then give you lays target later. I don't know, but it was a little confusing, but once you play with it, it all sort of makes sense. So while we've got this window open, we might as well move on to number 3 on my list of things that I'm really digging on the 7.0 Star Wars The Old Republic Legacy of the Sith public test server. Although that's a mouthful. But this is the upcoming expansion scheduled to launch in February. This is the new character tab. I'm going to let you just take that in for a moment, because I absolutely freaking love this thing. I love that the character is here. I love the black background contrast. I love that the inventory opens in a window that's connected to my character, making gearing so much easier. And even in the outfitter, boom, my inventory is right there for me to get to. Over in combat styles, that makes a nice little window for the trees. In my companions, my inventory is right there to boom if I want to, customize my companion's appearance. And then for the loadouts, of course, you've got those loadouts off to the side. It's super convenient. It's super easy to see, and I love it. Plus, for those of you who are like, oh, I don't want to see, all that at the same time. Well, if you want to open your inventory and not have to look at all that, you can. Just hit I like normal. Otherwise, hit your character tab and you'll get the whole thing. I like that all the tabs are at the top, where everything's some of the most important stuff is in this one tab all together. I really like this right here. I love the way that they're doing a nice contrast. Everything's really easy to see. You've got your light and dark balance. You've got your stats if you want to pull those up right here. Item rating, boom, everything. All the information you need is right there to be seen. That being said, speaking of contrast, I want to say that the number 4 on my list is that the text is a lot easier to read on PTS. They're doing a better job of putting some shadows around it, sort of clarifying, sharpening the text. Whatever they're doing, and I believe they've got more drop shadow on them. Whatever they're doing, it's making it way easier to see text on the screen, whether it's floating combat text or just character text, or just social notifications you get up on the window. Everything is easier to read. It stands out better from the background of the world, and everything looks better. And then finally, Number 5, a bit speculative, but I feel this way, and every other content creator I've seen get on this PTS has asked the same question. None of us are 100% sure, and I haven't seen any official documentation. So I'll just kind of pose this as a question. Am I losing my mind? Am I just imagining it? And it may not come across in YouTube with the recording and everything, but looking at it live, the game looks sharper, cleaner. Everything has just and I'm not talking like a major graphical overhaul. I'm talking like a lighting rendering update or something that, and I know they had talked about doing stuff like that, but I haven't seen in any patch notes where that's been implemented yet. So I'm thinking maybe they've implemented something. I would love to know whether they have or not, or if all of us are just going crazy. Because like I said, I've seen several content creators who have jumped on here and said, "Man, does this look better?" Like just subtly, not like huge graphical overhaul, but I think there's a lighting rendering difference that's been made that hasn't been made public just yet. They seem to be testing it in the background, but it just looks a little better. And if that's the case, A+ from me. But anyway, that's my 5 things on the SWTOR PTS for 7.0 Legacy of the Sith that the Noobfridge is super excited about. Be sure to let me know what you're excited about down in the comments below, or if you're not interested in anything you've seen about Legacy of the Sith, let us know down below too. What is it that you haven't gotten yet that would maybe make you more interested and bring you back to SWTOR if you've been gone for a while, or make you want to check it out for the first time if you haven't played it before. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe to the channel here. Check out mmobomb.com for all the latest news information for all multiplayer games online. I've been the Noobfridge, Troy Blackbird. You can follow me on Twitter at Noobfridge. Thank you so much. We will see you guys later. This video is done. I'm out.